Hello and good morning. Yes, this is our last leg of our trip. There is no trip possible without a Scottish breakfast. Some of you have asked, why do I call this a Scottish breakfast? I stole the name from my friend Greg from Wyoming. This is a McDonald's Egg McMuffin. McDonald's is a Scottish name, so therefore it's a Scottish breakfast. Let's do an energy check. 76 in the battery and 22% on arrival. 141 miles to go to Knoxville. We're heading to the Brookview Supercharger. That's version 3. If I look out of the window, we see a bunch of moisture out there. I think we're kind of following up some bad weather. We didn't get it too much in Nashville. It was just overcast, so hopefully we don't run into anything. I don't think anything is predicted. We don't need it. We had enough on this trip. I think it is spring. Look at all these leaves. Yeah, I think the trees are mostly all filled out now. Up north, not so much. I think it's still a little chilly down here, though. As you can see, it's I think pretty well done. We now have spring. Let's do an energy check. 22 in the battery and arrival percentage of 19. It's awesome. Hey, anybody need a sailplane? Check that out. Just getting off, getting to charge.
In 500 feet, turn right onto North Shore Drive. Now turn right onto North Shore Drive.
Yes, Chatty Cathy.
Now turn left onto Brookview Centerway.
Really? It says 6 was available. Now there's a waiting line. Oh, jeez Louise. Well, there you go. It's the first wait I've been in the entire trip. You guys saw it, said 6 were available. I suppose it wasn't updated. Well, we're going to be here for a little bit, I think. Charges fast. They look like they're all Model 3s. One Y over there and an S. They should all charge quick. Here at the Brookview Knoxville Supercharger, it's version 3. Man, we got here, we had to wait. And it didn't one long, maybe 6 or 8 minutes. All right, well, we're just about charged. We're gonna get out of here. All right, almost done. 1 minute to go. I think probably 30 seconds or something like that. We charged up here in Knoxville at the Brookview version 3 Supercharger, and we are good to go. Calculating, as they say in this part of the world, it's ciphering, 73%. And if we look at the arrival percentage here, it's 15% in Tryon. I think we're good to go. All right, I'm gonna unplug and move on down the road. We are up on Interstate 40 eastbound, heading to home. 152 miles to go. I don't know about you guys, but I think we're gonna come into the backside, according to Greg, of all of this weather. Looks like it may be a little rain up ahead. Let's hope it's not much. We're getting close to the gorge now. Trees are in bloom. Just into the gorge now. Found all the traffic here almost into Asheville. 10 miles to go and we head south on Interstate 26. There you go, nice little tiny house for you. I think it's really a trailer, but looks cool anyway. We made it to Interstate 26. This is eastbound, even though it runs north and south. Still in construction. I think it's going to be here for another 3 years. It's supposed to be a 6-year project. I guess it's a cost plus project for somebody. Yes, sir. We're getting home now. Just about ready to cross the Peter Geist Bridge here. Lots and lots of leaves here in this part of the world. Nice and warm, I guess. We made it to Columbus, almost to Tryon, 19%. Our estimated was 18%, it's right on the nose. We made it home, yes we did, 18% as predicted. Let's have a look at the trip data here. Let's have a look at the entire trip, 5,449 miles, 1.944 megawatt hours of energy used. Averaged of 357 watt hours per mile. Just the run back from California was 2,728 miles, 939 kilowatt hours of energy used at a rate of 344 watt hours per mile. Yes, I am home. This is a wrap-up video of the trip. Kind of cover some of the things. If you watched all of the 8 videos, you would have seen it. I'll cover some of the bigger items. We started this trip in the Model X. I took the Model X because it's a 2020 Model X, and the 2020 Model X that I have has unlimited free supercharging. I'd probably save $300 probably not having to charge, which was fine. Model X is a road car. It's got air suspension. It's a little softer ride than taking the Model Y. And it's a little bit bigger. I also can tow 8,000 pounds. I wasn't sure that I wasn't going to bring something back and have to tow it. Didn't know. So I took the Model X. Great car. Greg and I went. He lives in South Carolina. He's one of our local ham friends. He's never been to Visalia. Heck, he's never hardly been across country. So it was a perfect opportunity to have Greg go with me. He was kind of like Alice in Wonderland. He had not been anywhere really out of the Connecticut area and down here in South Carolina, but he's really never traveled much. My goal in all this was to get him to see some of the things along the way. So we started out in the Model X. I planned the trip. I went ahead and planned about 600 miles a day. I preset all of the hotels. That allowed us just to drive and not worry about having a hotel at the end of the day. We covered that 600 miles in about 11 to 13 hours, depending upon what we were doing, whether we were stopping or not. We drove and stayed in the hotel overnight. My goal, of course, was to make a video every night. When I started the trip, I was able to make a video for all the nights, but after the convention of staying up late and those kinds of things, I was really starting to get tired. We drove 600 miles at a stretch coming back, and after the first video, I just couldn't do it anymore, so that's why the videos have run late. I like doing a daily video mainly because you, the audience, likes to see what's going on. And if I can possibly pull that off, I do. So, Visalia DX Convention. It is a group of amateur radio operators, sometimes called hams. There's many aspects of amateur radio. One of them is DXing. DXing is where you get on your radio and make contacts with other amateur radio operators around the world. And when I mean around the world, I mean truly around the world. With my station here at the house, I can easily make contact with anybody on the planet. Now, in the DXCC environment, which stands for DX Century Club, you need to, or as a goal, to work or make contact with up to 100, which gets you a DXCC award. But to get to the top of the 340 current countries, you need to make contact and get confirmation with 340 countries. And that's where the DXCC comes in. A lot of the DXers have their radios set up. They're on a constant vigil to make contacts with countries all over the world that they have not. And the DX convention is a grouping of these kind of amateur radio operators that DX, and we talk about DXing things and how to do it better. And we interview people that have gone to remote locations and operated the radio, and it gave all of us amateur radio operators, or hams, the opportunity to make a contact. One of the special things at the convention was the DXpedition, which is a expedition for DXing. A group of amateur radio operators go to some obscure place. In this year, we had the hams that went on to a place called Beauvais Island. More people have been in space than have been on Beauvais Island. It's a very difficult thing. It's below the Arctic Circle. It's below the Atlantic Ocean. Look it up, Beauvais. And it's a very difficult way to talk on the radio, because you have to spend hundreds and thousands of dollars to get there. You have to get safely on the island. You have to erect your antennas, and then you have to proceed to make contact with all of the amateur radio operators around the world that need Beauvais for a contact for the 340 DXCC. So look it up. Go to the American Radio Relay League, ARRL, and search DXCC, and it'll explain it to you. It's very cool. Anyway, so we took 4 days to get to Visalia. Once we got there, we visited with friends, made new friends, and had a good old time. And the convention lasted on between Friday and Saturday. Of course, we left Sunday. Greg had never been to Las Vegas. Can you believe that? Well, he'd never been to Las Vegas. I've only been to Las Vegas, 40 times or something. I lived in California. Part of my job was to demonstrate or go to a convention of the two-way radio industry, and I did that for 25 years in a row. Anyway, I know Las Vegas well. I knew it before it is today. Now there's a zillion people there, and there's lots and lots of things to do. You can have fun things or gambling or any other thing you can think of in Las Vegas. We spent 2 nights there. We got to see a show called KA, K-A, and I can't explain it. It's kind of like when I put people in the driver's seat of my Tesla. I can explain to them how all the cool things the car does, and they gloss over and they think I'm a zealot. Well, perhaps I am, but the best way to prove that is to put them in the driver's seat and let them drive it for themselves, and it makes some kind of connection in their brain, and then they understand. Well, in amateur radio, it's very much the same kind of thing. You have to get them involved, and then they will actually understand how that works. So we went to Las Vegas. We went to the KA show, and I could not explain it to Greg. I just said, you've got to see it. Just like putting people in my Tesla. It's an amazing Cirque du Soleil show. And what that is, it's a bunch of acrobats, and then they build a show around that. And you've never seen anything like this. I recommend, if you do get to Las Vegas, go to the KA show. It's at the MGM Grand. It is simply amazing. So we spent 2 days in Vegas, or I should say 2 evenings. From there, we went on the way home. We did a little stop in the Grand Canyon, which was always a neat thing to see. We stayed in Gallup, New Mexico, and got up in the morning, and that's when the nav decided to be possessed. We cleared that up and moved on down the road. We went ahead and stopped in, where did we stop? I'm trying to think now. We left Gallup, New Mexico, and we ended up in just past Oklahoma City. We got to see our friend and fellow YouTuber, the Crazy Postman, and got to visit with him. He drove up from where he lives and met us in Elk City along Interstate 40. We did that. We spent the night in Midwest City. And as you saw from the video, we had to charge on our first CCS charger. It was a 62.5 kilowatt charger made by ChargePoint. Yeah, I got one on the wall over there. Anyway, we charged on the DC fast charger because the stretch between Oklahoma City and Van Buren is 197 miles. And it was raining, and it was just nasty weather. So we charged up. That was our first CCS adapter. We did test it the day before with the Crazy Postman, and just proved that it works on those chargers by Francis Energy. We drove all the way from Midwest, made our way through Arkansas, and then up through Tennessee, and spent 3 nights in Nashville. We then left Nashville and drove all the way home, and that's in this video. All in all, driving the Tesla was awesome. And if you've not driven a Tesla, contact your local Tesla store. They'll give you a test drive. If you know a Tesla driver, most likely they'll be happy to give you a ride or perhaps even let you drive the Tesla. One of the things about driving an electric car like the Tesla, it's very difficult for an owner like me to explain exactly what it drives like. You have to drive it yourself. Once you do that, the whole understanding of driving a Tesla will become clear. Try to get yourself a test drive in a Tesla. There are other electric cars. I've had a Mach-E, nice car, but it drives like a Ford. I have right here to my right, you can't see, well, is a Ford Lightning. And the Ford Lightning is also a neat vehicle. The low temperature or cold temperature performance of the battery sucks. It's something Ford really should address. I tried a trip to Wyoming. Couldn't make it because the range got down to 140 miles in the wintertime, and where I had to go was about 180. So there was no charging along the way, so I didn't make it to Wyoming. Anyway, that's in a video. You're happy to look at that. It was interesting. We just drove it like anybody would. And it was a nice vehicle, but don't drive it in the winter unless you don't have far to go. So the Ford Lightning is here, and I have purchased yet another vehicle. I'm not telling you what it is, but you'll need to keep an eye out for it. I will tell you one thing. It does have a CCS plug on it. Now, with the quality of CCS chargers on the road being as terrible as they are, it really is an adventure to take a CCS vehicle on a road trip. You do have to have a little bit of experience, which does make it easier to do. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this series. I do enjoy driving. I've got another trip in 2 weeks. We are headed to the Dayton Hamvention. That's another amateur radio or ham radio convention / flea market. And it's located in Xenia, Ohio, near Dayton, Ohio. I'll be up there in 2 weeks. We head up there, and if you're a amateur radio or ham and are going to Dayton, keep an eye out for me. I'll be wandering around. I'm 6'6", so it's not too difficult to find me. Anyway, thank you very much for watching the series. I hope it answered some questions on how easy it is with a Tesla to road trip. There was no shenanigans. You saw everything I did. I charged it. I showed you the rate at which the energy was used, and the whole thing. You're nothing to hide. I've driven probably 60,000 miles now in Teslas. There is a no-brainer to do that. You set the navigation. It says where to go, where to charge. You can change up the where you're going to stop. The car will verify that it is okay to do that. But so easy to go anywhere in a Tesla. Besides, they're the 4 safest crash-tested cars on the planet. Who would not want to be in a Tesla? Oh, wait, before I go, if you like this video and all the other videos, if you would, please go ahead and click the like button. That really means a lot to the YouTube algorithm. And if you would, pass my videos on to your friends. They will enjoy the travel, perhaps, if not the technical aspect of actually driving. Thank you for watching. I'll look for you in my upcoming videos, and take care.